talked about this last week on the air. This is going to be a fun topic. What will the NBA look like in 5 years from now? So, Josh, for the first time in maybe championship rings history, I have actually become prepared for this segment. I have a complete list on what the NBA is going to look like in 5 years.
Okay. I have a couple things. I didn't write anything down. I think the Supersonics will be back. I think Vegas will have a team. Um, because those two Western Conference teams will be in the league. I think Memphis is going to move into our division and
Okay.
come to the Eastern Conference. Um, I think I'm trying. I think the Houston Rockets will have won an NBA championship.
Okay.
I'm going to say Cleveland will have won a championship. And that's what I've got for kind of a starting point.
Okay. So we agree on most stuff. We disagree on a tiny bit of stuff. Here's what I will have. In the next 5 years in the NBA, I think we're going to see a dramatic change in this sport. For one, I think there will be an on-court change in the NBA.
A 4-point line?
I think within the next half decade, you're going to see a 4-point line.
Interesting.
Now, the question's going to be, where is it going to be? I am proposing that I think there is going to be a 4-point line.
Uh-huh.
If I was a commissioner,
Uh-huh.
I would actually not make a 4-point line. I would just say if you shoot a free ball from beyond half court, meaning on your side of the court, it's worth 4 points.
Huh.
That's what I would do.
Okay. Go ahead. I'll let you finish.
I think there is going to be a 4-point line, though. My guess is it's going to be a couple feet back from where the current 3-point line is, and they may just move the 3-point line to the corners. I think that will hopefully incentivize maybe end of game, stopping the late fouling a little bit, where you play the foul game, because if you're down 4 points, you only need one possession to score.
Okay. I don't know if the league would do that, only because we've seen, you and I have discussed how much of the game now is, I'm on the fast break, it's 3-on-1, but instead of going for the easy layup, let me shoot the 3-pointer.
Because it's math. So I think the solution to that is, let's actually shrink the 3-point line and let's put a 4-point line way far back.
So I understand what you're saying. I just don't know if the league wants to continue this crazy shooting, because I've heard the league is considering going down to 10-minute quarters.
That is the one change that Adam Silver came out with, and I 100% completely agree with him on that.
Really?
Yes.
Please explain this one.
So correct me if I'm wrong. I know college basketball does the 2 20-minute halves. I know in the women's basketball, it's quarters. Do they do 10 4-minute quarters, or is it 12?
It's 10.
Okay, so that would be essentially the same rule as the NBA. I love it. It shaves 8 minutes off the sport. You have guys that are playing 35 to 33 minutes anyway, so you wouldn't be affecting guys' minutes. I think it would devalue the bench maybe a little bit, but again, I think it would create more urgency where you wouldn't have as many of these sort of the first half doesn't matter because it's all about the second half sort of comeback, because 40 minutes, you don't have the time to make up.
Okay. But with the women's college basketball game, you're not getting scores in the hundreds. You're getting
this would put down the scoring. You would get scores, in my opinion, in the 90s and lower hundreds. You wouldn't have 120.
Sure, but the fans want the high scoring affair.
But no, we don't. We don't want 120 to. I don't. I'll tell you that. I don't want 120 to 115 every night.
Okay, from what I've seen, it feels like the majority of the fans enjoy the high scoring
You think they
games.
enjoy 130 to 125 games? Because I don't. No, I don't enjoy 85 to 80. Like, I think there's a nice medium of like 105 to 110.
Something like that I think would be better. I'm not saying like a 136, 131 type of game is perfect and it's, you know, the the best thing. That's not what I'm suggesting. But what I am saying is I don't know if you want to take away all that scoring at this. You know what I mean?
That's fair. Okay, so let me go to my next point. So we just got done talking about All Star Weekend. Here's my prediction for All Star Weekend. In the
Okay.
next 5 years, All Star Weekend will be one of two things. Excuse me. It will either A, be back to its glory days, excuse me, or B, it will not exist. One of the two. It will either not exist anymore or it will be great. I don't think there will be any of this in between again.
It, I want to agree with you on that one. I don't know if the NBA is willing to just abolish it because, like I said earlier, they generally give it to cities like a Salt Lake City or a Cleveland or like or Charlotte, New Orleans, Atlanta.
You could still do the free point contest and all that. Maybe you spread it out, but I think the game would be abolished.
Okay,
I should have been more clear on
yeah,
that.
because
Uh,
like when you do All Star Weekend, like that usually brings in a lot of tourists and
yeah.
stuff like that. I do understand what you're saying, but because of the money and the tourism factor, I don't think the NBA would get rid of All Star Weekend. So if you're not going to get rid of All Star Weekend, I don't think they would get rid of all of the All Star game itself. If that makes sense.
Yes. Okay,
Okay.
here's my other change. You talked about the expansion. We all know it's happening.
Seattle and
I
Vegas.
agree with you in Seattle and Vegas. This is where I disagree with you. I think the team that moves to the Eastern Conference is not going to be John Moran and the Memphis Grizzlies.
Okay.
I think it's going to be Anthony Edwards and the Minnesota Timberwolves, adding some much needed juice as long as Ant stays in um, Minnesota. I think that would add some much needed juice to a conference that to me needs more stars.
Huh.
The other change that I think will be made, I think the NBA is going to go to an NFL like format. You're going to have 8 divisions, 4 teams in each division. The winner of each division will be the 1, 2, 3, and 4 seeds in the postseason. Divisions will matter again. And I would love to see, even though they're not going to do it, I would love to see them shrink the playoff field and go to the NFL format where it's one gets a bye, 2 versus 7, 3 versus 6, 4 versus 5. That first round becomes a 3 game series, a lot like baseball, where you're at the home court. It's every other night. You have a semifinal that is a best of 5, and then your championship in NBA Finals are best of 7.
So you want to go kind of the WNBA playoff format?
Yes, I do. I don't think we need 7 games in the first or second round. Very few. I mean, I calculated it the other day. We had 15 playoff series last year. Only 3 went to a game 7. 2 of those were in the second round. I get it. But I think if you had a game 5, it would create so much more urgency in that series. And I think that it would make for even better competition for the conference and NBA finals because we're playing less games. And I think the first round, I think 7 games is way too much. Even though our Cavs and Magic did go 7 games, it's very rare for first round playoff matchups to go the distance. We may get one a year.
Yeah. On the topic of expansion, I do think there's an Eastern Conference team that will come in the next 5 years, and
Okay.
and they're actually uh in the same state as Philadelphia.
Pittsburgh.
Yes, I do think Pittsburgh is going to get an NBA team.
So let me ask you this: do we not move Minnesota? Then do we just add another East team? Do we add two West teams, two East teams, make it 34 teams?
So you're saying bring Seattle and Vegas in.
Yes.
Add,
Bring Pittsburgh in, and maybe even like a Cincinnati or a Kentucky.
ooh, I don't know. The problem,
Cincinnati used to have a team way back in the day. I mean, you could always move the Wizards. No one cares. No one cares. You could even move the Hornets. I don't know that's an idea.
yeah, I don't know if the NBA is going to relocate teams. They tried to relocate the Sacramento Kings to Seattle, and that didn't work.
Yeah. Okay. I actually have thoughts on championships as well, so let me give those.
Okay.
I agree with you. The Cleveland Cavaliers will have an NBA championship in the next 5 years. Our Cavs will host the Larry O'Brien Trophy. I believe that Shea Gilders-Alexander, Chet Holmgren, and the Oklahoma City Thunder will host an NBA championship possibly as soon as this year.
They bet. Wait, can I just comment on that one super quick?
Go ahead.
Think about all the talent Sam Presti has had as the general manager of the Oklahoma City Thunder for a second. Russell Westbrook, Kevin Durant, James Harden, Serge Ibaka, Paul George, Carmelo Anthony, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, Victor Oladipo. I could go on and on. Not one championship, one NBA Finals appearance in 2012. When are you going to break through? Like, think about it. All these teams across the league at some point have broken through since Sam Presti became the general manager. Whether it was Golden State, us, Toronto, Miami, San Antonio, just to name a few. And yet Oklahoma City has had all this talent and nothing to show for it. Nothing.
I agree. Here's another one. I think the Boston Celtics will actually get one more. I think it would be kind of a waste if they did not get another one with the talent that they have.
Okay.
Here's a wild card one that I know you're not going to love, but I think the inevitable is going to happen. Are you ready for this bombshell?
The Lakers?
No.
The
Giannis Antetokounmpo is going to win a championship. Not with the Milwaukee Bucks.
Okay.
Giannis Antetokounmpo is going to go to the Big Apple in Madison Square Garden. He's going to team up with Jalen Brunson, and the New York Knicks are going to win the NBA championship.
Okay. Interesting. That would be interesting. I don't know why you said I wouldn't love that.
I just think guy moving from small market to big market.
Oh, plus I don't like the Knicks, but yeah, I mean, players do it all the time. They want to get out of the small markets and go to the big market. It happens.
Okay, so here I have one more prediction.
Go ahead.
So we talk about the face of the league, right? Who's going to be the new face of the league?
There is no face of the league right now, by the way.
I think it's still LeBron, without a doubt. I think until LeBron retires, LeBron is the face of the league. That's just, I mean, LeBron's social media following, his this and that. Everybody hangs on every word he says. I think in terms of best player who will also be face of the week, I don't think it's going to be Luka. I don't think it's going to be Jokic. I don't think it's going to be Anthony Edwards. I don't even think it's going to be Giannis. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a 7'4" unicorn in San Antonio, Texas, named Victor Wembanyama, who I have been telling the world since he was about 13 years old.
You're all right over there.
Yes, I'm okay. I'm getting choked up because I love Victor Wembanyama so much. I've been telling the world that this man is going to change the NBA, and he will do so, leading the NBA into the future.
I would have said SGA is going to be the face of the league. I'm curious. Why did you not say the San Antonio Spurs are going to win a championship in the next 5 years?
I think the West is too deep.
Really?
I think it will be easier in the Eastern Conference. I mean, in the East this year, I think it is the Cavs and it's the Celtics. I think it will be the Cavs and the Celtics for the foreseeable future until Giannis Antetokounmpo goes to the Knicks.
It would be fun. Um, and then with the West, I can't just dismiss Houston and Oklahoma City. I'm not. I want to keep Memphis in the discussion because now they have John Morant back, even though you know my feelings about John Morant.
Yeah, I don't trust John Morant to lead a team to a championship until I see it.
And I respect that opinion. I I'm sorry, Jokic, but I can't include Denver in the discussion for
Jokic don't even care about basketball. Jokic wants to go race horses. I'm serious. And by the way, Anthony Edwards at the All-Star game said he didn't want to be the face of the week either. That bothered me, by the way.
Yeah.
It really did bother me.
So that's why I think there's an opening for a team like Houston or maybe San Antonio because I really like that the Spurs went out and they got De'Aaron Fox and they didn't have to give up any of their young guys. I think Fox and Wemby are going to be a great pairing.
They need one more legit wing, one more legit score.
That I agree with, but I think that guys are going to want to play with Wemby and Fox. So
100%.
I think somebody's going to go there. You know, somebody like when LaMarcus Aldridge went to San Antonio, were you expecting that?
No, that turned out to be a disaster.
No, I understand that, but when you first heard that news, were you expecting
it was kind of like a what the hell move.
Exactly. Like, I'm not saying like tomorrow LeBron's going to announce that he wants to sign with San Antonio or something.
That would be a what the hell move, though. Please sign me up for that. Can you imagine LeBron and Wemby? They'd have to nationally televise all 82 games, please.
But I'm not saying somebody like a LeBron is going to want to sign with San Antonio. But
Kevin Durant would. He would say, "Save my legacy, Wemby."
That's true. That is 100% true. Good God. What the hell happened to the Phoenix Suns this season? Good Lord.